Okay. So can you state your name?
Leighton Lunger.
And can you state what you do here, Leighton?
So I am the manager of Profile by Sanford. So I help lead our team and just do a lot of the operational tasks behind the scenes, but also I do my best to encourage and motivate our team members and make sure everything at the store is running smoothly.
Okay. Great. So I'm Daniel. I'm with Leighton. I'll be behind the scenes today. And we wanted to start a profile podcast to get people to know more about the profile and the plan. So I wanted to start with Leighton. I thought she would be a perfect candidate. So Leighton, first and foremost, what got you interested in profile?
So I've always loved anything health, fitness, lifestyle related, nutrition. Ever since I was young, my mom started taking me to the gym at a young age. I was probably 12 and 13. We started exercising together and just fell in love with it. I really wasn't athletic. I tried a couple different sports and I just realized it wasn't for me. But I got really into weightlifting and just taking care of my body and exercising and eating right. So that kind of was the start of my interest in helping others to achieve a healthier lifestyle. So went on to get my master's degree in public health with a focus in health promotion. And my undergraduate was actually international studies with a public health minor, and realized I just liked my minor better. It was just more me and my personality. So ended up switching from international studies to public health for my master's, and really didn't know what I was going to do with it at that point. It's a very broad degree. There's a lot you can do with public health, but I really hadn't narrowed down as to what I wanted to do with it specifically and what field I wanted to work in. I just knew I loved health. So I did a couple different internships. I interned with my master's degree was at Liberty University, and I did an internship with what's called the Washington Fellowship in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so I interned with L&T Health and Fitness and mostly did health fairs for about 3.5 months. So I went around D.C. and I helped set up health fairs at huge companies, small companies, and basically had different stations to encourage and motivate people at employee wellness and how to exercise more and eat better, and screening. So we did a lot of biometric screenings just to give people more information about their health and how to improve their health. Really loved that, enjoyed that internship, and then went on to intern with Samaritan's Purse in Uganda. So I was in Africa almost 5 months, and it was just an incredible experience. Very, what I call character building.
Okay.
So I was able to intern in maternal child health and loved that opportunity as well. Really learned a lot about myself, very humbling, and came back to the States and was offered an opportunity in Liberia to work for 2 years with Samaritan's Purse. But I really just didn't feel called to go back overseas yet. So I ended up just doing a lot of praying and took a job in Columbia, South Carolina as a supervisor of the diabetes prevention program.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so I supervised and coordinated that program for almost 4 years and loved it. It's essentially a weight loss program as well. So weight loss is the number one way to prevent type 2 diabetes. So it was a lot of education, and just realized how much I loved education and health promotion through coaching. And so ended up getting engaged and getting married, and so I had to move, and it was too far of a commute. So God opened the door for me to become the manager of Profile by Sanford here in Augusta, and absolutely love what I do and love everything about Profile.
So, yeah, a little quick story about Leighton. When she first became my boss, I got hired on around September of 2019, and Leighton was getting married. So it was interesting to see Leighton would come, and she would come to work, and she would work with us all day, and then she would go back home, and she was literally getting married, the next week. And then we're opening up the store, and everything's getting so hectic, and then we're going to training, but you always was there. So I do remember that. But to piggyback, it seems like almost a match made in heaven. You know, you were almost groomed or built to do this. Just going, you have overseas background, so you have global experience. Then you worked at a diabetes center, which is very needed. So, what would you say is a current habit that you like currently have that you're proud of?
So, I think the habit that I'm most proud of is my discipline in exercising regularly.
Wow.
Because it's
Okay.
not always easy. There's some days where I'm just like, not today. I just want to go home and lay on the couch. But as soon as I get to the gym or I go on a run or I do something where I'm active, I just feel better. And that's just really something that I've made a habit in my life. Probably 4 to 5 days a week, at least, sometimes more, where I'll just go out and do something outside or just something to move my body, whether it's in the gym or outdoors. So just formulating that habit and sticking with it.
Okay. An older guy I used to train, he used to always say, discipline is the strongest word in the dictionary. So I thought that's really good though. Discipline is a tough one.
Yeah, I like that.
How were you able to establish that type of discipline or have that on a daily basis? Could you explain to me like how you're able to do that on a daily basis?
Yeah, so a lot of practice and being intentional about my goals and knowing what I wanted to achieve, big picture, and then how I was going to get there. So, for example, I know I want to achieve good health, and I know I want to be an example to my family and those around me. And big picture, in 20, 30 years, I want to hopefully not be on medications for any chronic illnesses. I want to feel good. I want to be in my 50s, 60s, 70s and still being active and playing with my kids and grandkids. And so small steps to that is starting now with creating healthy habits when you're young.
Okay.
So
you're pretty much a big picture person.
I am, and I think having a big picture in mind and a large goal is the way to figure out what your small goals are and to formulate those habits.
Okay. Just to piggyback, what would you say, since you mentioned large goals, what would you say if someone wanted to, let's necessarily climb Mount Everest, but that could be losing 100 pounds, right? That's something that we'll experience here at Profile.
Yep.
What's a way that you can implement your story, utilizing your story? How could someone break that down of losing 100 pounds, let's say, and they came in?
Yeah.
How would you go about that?
Right, because we have members that come in and 100 pounds is overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
So the first thing we ask at Profile and what we really focus on here is what is your why? What is motivating you to do this? Because your why is the most powerful motivator of your discipline. And so if you have a strong why and you know the reason that you want to achieve something, then it's easier to figure out, how do I get to my why? Let's break it down into small goals, whether it be starting with 10 pounds and then 20 pounds, or maybe it's breaking it down even smaller and, avoiding certain foods or certain habits or integrating new habits that you haven't tried before. So looking at the smaller steps to get to that 100 pounds so that you're not overwhelmed.
Wow, okay. So breaking it down into small steps.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Yeah. That's a great idea. So can you explain to me what is the most valuable thing at Profile by Sanford? And why should someone join?
It's a good question, Daniel. So in my opinion, the most valuable part of Profile by Sanford is the accountability that your coaches provide to you. Accountability is everything. I don't think we're designed to do life alone. I think we need community and fellowship and encouragement, and I think that is a huge motivator of our why. And it's not just about us, but it's about our friends and our families and setting that example. And so when you have accountability and you have a cheerleader and you have a support group and a team that is educated and has a plan that you can trust in, then you don't feel so alone and you feel like you can achieve something with the help of others. So the coaches here at Profile, we provide that weekly accountability. I have members that I talk to even more often than weekly that just need an extra push, that will send me a nutrition label with some questions, and so I'm able to be there for them and support them in their journey. And when they are faced with a challenge or an event or a circumstance that gets in the way of their goal, I can help them work around that. And all of the coaches here provide that encouragement and support. So I think that's the biggest part of really what sets Profile apart.
Wow, okay. So the one-on-one coaching, getting to meet and know someone.
Yes.
Wow, okay. So what would you call your niche or your specialty, Leighton, as a coach?
So I would say mine is nutrition. I'm a little bit of a nutrition nerd.
Okay.
When I go to the gym, I get on the Stairmaster and I just nerd out on YouTube nutrition videos. And I love to read about and hear about the science behind different foods and how they work in the body and what they do to us and for us to fuel us. And so I think achieving your goals, whether it be weight loss, or just helping you become more athletic and be able to sustain your endurance and your strength, a lot of that has to do with what you put in your body and how you fuel your body. And so that really interests me, and I love to help members hone in on a challenge they have, whether it be hormonal issues or sleep or carrying body fat that they want to get rid of, and what foods they can incorporate or eliminate to help them achieve their goals. I love learning about that and helping others realize that.
Okay. So it's more so a passion for you instead of just something.
It is. It's a passion. It's my job, but it's also a passion. So I think that's a win when you can marry your passions with your career.
Okay, great. Do you have any, if you can give me 3 weight loss tips, like just 3 things that you can pretty much, if I was just a guy off the street and I was like, hey, Leighton, I see that you're healthy, I know you work at Profile, you just give me 3 like free tips of like different things I can do at home right now today that could probably change my life. What would those 3 things be?
So I mentioned this previously. I'm going to go back to it because it's so important. Find an accountability partner, whether that's a health coach, a friend, a family member, and someone that you can trust, that you know their advice and their ideals align with yours, and that it's achievable for you. So find someone that can partner with you and help you through that process.
Okay.
Number 2 would be, I mentioned this as well, start small. Set small goals. Don't decide that tomorrow you're going to eliminate all carbs, start running 5 miles, meal prep every single day, drink 64 ounces of water. Set one goal a day or a week, whatever is achievable for you. That's different for everybody. So start small. And number 3 would be self-talk and positivity. I think a lot of people are really hard on themselves, and lifestyle is very mental, where what we tell ourselves about what we can and can't do has a huge effect on our actions. So I think journaling for our members helps a lot. When they come in the coach room, sometimes it's just a matter of talking it out and hearing yourself speak out loud what's working and what's not. And I don't think people do enough of that in life, in any area, not just wellness, but telling yourself what you can and can't do is very powerful. And I think it's training the mind to believe that you can do something.
Yeah, wow, that's interesting. I think one big thing I know we talk about a lot with training or exercising is you want to kind of become an employer of the mind and not an employee.
Yeah, I like that.
So you're telling your mind what it can do instead of it telling you just to stop or to quit.
Right.
So what's something that you would say necessarily if you went through something hard, or you're exercising, or maybe it's been a long day and you don't want to do something, or different things like that? What's something that you would say to yourself, as far as the self-talk, since you mentioned it? What's something that you would say to yourself, or do you have like a mantra, a different thing?
So I rely a lot on prayer.
Okay.
For me, prayer is what gets me through every single day. So I start the day with prayer. When I'm trying to figure out what to do, that afternoon or in that moment, if I really don't know, I just stop and pray and ask the Lord to guide me. And so, some people utilize meditation. Some people will call a family member or friend. And for me, I call on God first, and I ask Him, what can I do today? What do I need to do today? What do I not need to do today? And sometimes just we as humans just don't know. We have to ask, and we need advice. And so I try to humble myself and seek advice from He who is greater than I.